All right, well, welcome. With this training video, I thought I would cover some of the basics of aseptic technique. It has come up as questions as we've gone on to do some teacher training with the BioTechBuilder curriculum. I'll show you a couple of the slides that we use to train the students in aseptic technique, and then I'll also cover some of the basics and the preliminaries about how to best use materials in the lab so that you can grow microbes and cells reliably and without contamination. So let's get started. Use some of the slides that we use for teaching aseptic technique. These come from the lab skills portion of the BioTechBuilder curriculum, in particular the topic making solutions and the lesson preventing contamination. I'd really like to concentrate on is the aseptic technique itself, and that is the technique we use for preventing contamination of our samples and ourselves during experiments. There is a really good video from Carolina Biological Supply Company that is connected here to our slides. I'm going to play just a little bit of it, and then we're going to go into the lab to demonstrate some of what they're talking about here.
Wash your hands prior to and after performing any work with microorganisms. Any gloves worn should be clean and not previously used. Before and after working, wipe down the work surface with either 10% bleach solution or 70% alcohol. When sterile items are removed from their packaging, if some items are left in the package, reseal the package to maintain their sterility. Some microbiology implements come pre-sterilized and in sealed wrappers. Always open the wrappers of sterile pipettes, loupes, spreaders, or other such items from the non-working end of the item.
All right, I'm going to stop it there because we're going to go into the lab to open some of those pre-sterilized, individually wrapped materials. Okay, welcome to my lab, and I'm just going to do a little bit of demonstration of some of the aseptic technique that gets covered as part of the BioTechBuilder curriculum, but I just want to give it a special shout out now for what we'd like to emphasize, and we'd like to have you emphasize with your students. So I'm taking the last two gloves from this glove new box of PPE and medium gloves. I will replace it with a new box because that is good lab etiquette. Let me show you first how to open some of the materials that are individually wrapped within the lab here. So this is a individually wrapped loop, sterile loop. So it has one end that is pointy and one end that is round. I'm going to open it by peeling back like a banana, the two lips here, from the side that is pointy, not the side that is round, because the side that is round is the side that I'm going to use when I inoculate a cell, a colony into a liquid overnight culture. Similarly, with the serological pipette, this is a 5 ml pipette. There is one end that is, in this case, pointy, and one end that is flat with a cotton plug. That flat and cotton plug end goes into our pipetter. There are lots of different kinds of pipetters. I'm just going to use the one that we have here in the bench, the student bench. Again, to open this, I'm going to peel back like a banana the side that is flat and has the cotton plug in order to keep the end that is sterile, the pointy end here that we are going to use for inoculation, keep that sterile, not touching anything that is not sterile. And then, although I may or may not demonstrate it, these are spreaders, and just like they mentioned in that video from Carolina, we have a package that was partially used, so we taped it closed to keep the rest of the materials in this package sterile. But when I open it, I will open it from this end and touch the flat end, not the hockey stick end, because the hockey stick end is going to be used to spread on the surface of a petri dish. Okay, so let me demonstrate. Let's see, maybe first thing, let me demonstrate spreading on a plate. So here is a sleeve of petri dishes that were sent to me from Carolina. We used some of them, not all of them, so the rest were taped closed, but I will open and take out one and reseal this and set that aside for now. If I wanted to spread some liquid, let's say transformation mix, or some cells that I have diluted and I want to count onto the surface of the Petri dish, I will set that Petri dish here. Let me try to find a place that you can see it. There. I'll set that Petri dish here. I will use a box of sterile pipette tips that I keep closed until I want to use it. I will set my pipette person. This is a P20 actually, and so let's say I'm going to spread 20 microliters. Here's my P20. I'm going to put a sterile tip onto the end of the P20. This is a sterile tip. I cannot touch it to the bench. I cannot touch it to anything except what I want to put onto the sterile surface of this Petri dish. In this case, I'm just going to put some LB. I'm going to open this bottle, not put the cap down onto the bench, keep it in my hand, put the sterile tip into the liquid without touching the sides, without touching the bench or anything else, close up the bottle as quickly as I can, and spread that 20 microliters on the surface of the Petri dish. So I've just carefully inoculated, holding the lid of the Petri dish in my hand, not putting it down on the table. I will remove that tip and discard it. And now to show you, again, these spreaders, they have been opened once before, but I will take out one. And not touch this spreader end onto anything except the surface of the Petri dish. I cannot do this one-handed. Some people can. I could hold this open in one hand, spread like this on the surface of the Petri dish, and not put this lid down. Another way to do it is to very briefly put the Petri dish lid up on the surface of the bench if your bench has not been cleaned. If you're in a biosafety cabinet, you could put it down because the surface of the biosafety cabinet has been sterilized. But the point of this video is to show you that I can touch this end of the spreader, but not that end of the spreader, in order to spread materials onto the surface of this Petri dish. So that is spreading onto the surface of a Petri dish, and our students in our lab do it really, really well. These are some plates that some of our students did. Can you see them? They have colonies, individual colonies spread. It's kind of hard to see. Individual colonies spread, no contamination. Contamination might look like something fuzzy growing on the surface of the Petri dish. It might look like something not cream colored growing on the surface of the Petri dish, pink or yellow. But the students did really, really well spreading their cells with aseptic technique onto the surface of our Petri dishes. The last thing I want to show you in terms of using materials for aseptic technique is part of a lab that we run, and I will link to this. It is a lab in growing cells, culturing a colony from BioTechBuilder lab skills. It's called preparing overnight cultures. And so this protocol explicitly describes how to do this. I'm going to be emphasizing the sterile technique that is involved. Step 1 is clean your lab bench. Step 2 is check that you have isolated colonies, which I just showed you we do. Step 3 is to label a 15 milliliter conical tube with initials, name, the strain, the date, the agar type. Then it says, using a sterile 5 ml serological pipette and aseptic technique, add 5 milliliters of LB to the labeled 15 ml conical tube. Dispose of the pipette in the sharps waste. Okay, so let me show you how to do that. Again, I'm going to open the end that is flat with the cotton plug, not touch the pointy end to anything except the materials that I want to transfer sterilely. So here is the opening of the pipette. I can put the pipette into this bulb, and now with this open to the air as briefly as possible, I'm going to, with one hand, open this bottle, keep the lid in my hand, put the sterile tip into the liquid media, remove 5 mils, close the lid of the LB, open the lid of my 15 ml conical tube with one hand and dispense that liquid. Okay? To fully remove the volume, the precisely measured volume, there is a blowout bulb here, which I use to extract the very last drops of the materials that are in the pipette. And then I have aseptically transferred 5 milliliters of media to this sterile tube. The next thing I'm going to do is, using a sterile loop, pick a colony of BB1 cells and inoculate the media I have just prepared. Okay. There's actually another step in this that is to add some ampicillin to this media, which I would do with the sterile tips and this P20, but I've shown you how to do that with the spreading of the cells. So I'm going to open this loop carefully, and again, I can touch the pointy end, but the loop itself needs to only touch the cells that are on this petri dish. And I'll show you how this is done. I very briefly open the plate. I scoop up one colony onto this petri dish, and then I open this tube and I swirl with the sterile loop that had one colony on it into the media. I discard into my biohazardous waste, and I close the lid here. You can vortex this to get a even distribution of the cells through the media, and then inoculate. This inoculated culture can grow overnight. Cleaning up from the bench is another sort of stage, but carefully removing your gloves. You can remove one glove by grabbing the middle of the glove, and then the second glove by putting your finger under the lip, and now that is done. All right. Hopefully that has been helpful, and we'll link to some of these protocols and some of these videos in the notes.